What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode with Clement Customs here. Back on the truck again. Not much has really happened since the last truck video. Dad and I just did a quick can of paint over our welds because it had to sit outside for a little bit and we didn't want it to rust. Box, like we said, has been shortened, and Dad and I have cut the insides out. And we're gonna talk about doing some half moons, but that's not our worry just yet. We will tub this, but that's not our first priority at the moment. Everything fits great. We built some some box mounts. So the box is actually mounted to the truck now. So everything works. This is final form basically as it sits, which is great. Now on this episode, what we're gonna focus on is taking this completely back apart now. So we're at the stage where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel here. We are now gonna disassemble and start fixing a bunch of stuff. We are gonna fix we got some oil leaks, some transmission leaks, there's a couple other things, but we add rear shocks, new front shocks, a drag link, like there's a bunch of stuff that we're gonna need to do. And also I want to coat the whole frame in Por 15. That's kind of our game plan. So Dad and I are gonna focus on getting the truck bed off and sitting outside, and then we're gonna focus on getting the cab off, and we're gonna probably plop it right where I'm standing, right here on some dollies so it's easily movable. And then the front end will come off. We got to do a little bit more welding on the cab mounts and also the front rad support. We got to fully weld up. And then once that's done, it'll be Por 15 and rear end. Oh yeah. And then also shout out to one of my buddies, Matt, up Island. Him and I made a deal and he got me a new, I think it's a Dana, is it a Dana 80? I think it's a Dana 80. Don't quote me on that, but a new rear end, because this rear end is not the happiest. So we're gonna have to put a new rear end in it. Lots to do on the list. So enough of me blabbing away. Let's start ripping and tearing this truck apart. Box on the trailer. So we'll store it over there beside the cab over until we need it next, which will be a hot minute. Now is to get this cab off. Yep. Got it?
You are free.
Okay, one sec.
Yeah. There's the fender.
We also took all the doors off. We didn't film any of that. There you go. Oh, in the hole she goes. You good?
Yep.
I got it.
All right.
Sweet. 2 fenders gone.
Here, let me get one done too.
Yeah. You good? Or do you need
I'm
it?
totally free.
Okay.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, totally good. Let's just put it down in here.
Dad was having trouble with moving the frame because Sticks put his ball right in front of the front wheel. That was tight. Good job. Good job, Sticks. Out. I gotta say, it's weird going backwards now. Well, technically, we are going in the right direction, but now taking everything apart, I'm gonna change the exhaust a little bit here because this is pretty gone, so we're gonna deal with that section. Got some more welding we gotta do. There. Here, we gotta box this in. We're getting there. Dad is getting a pallet that will throw the cab on. welcome. Sweet. Nice work.
Okay, so let's put the gantry away.
Yeah. There you go. Cab's off. On a little roller Dad and I built. It's actually just Dad's spare aluminum, so it's great. And then that way it stays inside and dry. And then let's move this gantry, get it out of the way. And then we can bring the frame out here and start figuring out what we need to tack up, weld up, pour 15, change, fix, go from there. All right, day 2. So, well, day 2 on this video, but actually there's been a couple days in between the last clip you just saw. So let me catch you up to speed of what we kind of have done so far. There's a couple things on this frame that we need to fix with some welding. There were some areas that were just rusted out, as you can see a little bit down there. So we just had to fix a couple things like that. We boxed in around here, as you can see, it was raining last night. So we boxed in the rear mount. We have fully welded up the front mounts now. So those are all done on each side. We have welded up all of this for our fenders to mount to. And we've also welded the bottom square tubing of rad support there. So there's a couple things. I also painted the valve covers, the alternator bracket, just to make it look a little bit nicer. We changed the exhaust a bit. This clamp was the wrong clamp, so we put in a new clamp there. And then the exhaust was actually quite rusted out right along here. So I got some 4-inch exhaust pipe, and Dad actually welded all this up and fixed that. We also had the hanger was broken, so we welded that back up, and that was it. It's been a day or two that we did a bunch of stuff. As you can see, I am standing on a tarp because today we are gonna start to pour 15 this frame. I've used this on a couple of my frames. I actually undercoated my whole split window bus with this. My whole family's been using it for years, and it's great stuff, quite durable. And also, if you get it on anything other than what you're trying to paint, it is next to impossible to get off. So hence why we did the tarp. Dad's garage is quite nice, and we do not want to ruin the floor. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull the front cab mounts off. I might pull off the back cab mount. I'll pull off, a couple of little things that I want off, and then I'm just gonna start going on the inside and the outside and do this whole entire frame with this. All you need is a paintbrush or a roller. It's pretty simple. Make sure you wear gloves, because if you get it on your hands, you have black hands for at least 2 weeks. Enough of me chatting. Let's focus on getting these cab mounts off and then prepping for paint. Also, I forgot to mention that one of the days Tay and I did a little bit of changing some things, or just putting in new parts, should I say. Our gear selector, basically here, there's a little bushing that's underneath here. I'll put a picture right about here or something about it. And we changed that out because this was leaking trans fluid really, really bad. So we've swapped that out at least. And then the drag link was super sloppy and shitty, so we put in a new drag link as well. I also forgot to mention that with Pour 15, it likes to chemically bond to more of a rusty surface. If you actually put this Pour 15 on like a clean piece of metal, it doesn't actually adhere to the metal as well. It actually prefers having a finish that's more like this. Dad and I spent a whole entire night, and we needle gunned the entire frame, wire brush, wire wheeled, and just cleaned off most of the gunk. As you can tell, we cleaned off all this because it was filled with dirt and stuff. So we made it so it's clean for the Pour 15, but the Pour 15 adheres to metal a lot better when it has like a coat of rust on it. Don't ask me questions about it. I don't understand the math and the science behind it, but over previous projects over the years, I've noticed that it definitely adheres better, and people have told me it adheres better. So just something, fun fact for you. All right, so I Pour 15 basically the rear end of the frame, got all the inside and outside. It's very tedious trying to go on the inside, so I didn't want to film too much of it, but I'm running out of Pour 15. I definitely should have grabbed 2 cans, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna focus on this outside frame with the last little bit I got here, and just coat this whole, basically from the front cab mount to the back, and get that all done. So enjoy the time lapse. All right, so we did run out of paint the last little bit that you saw. So we got most of the frame done, but not all done. So I'm gonna finish it off today because I grabbed more Port 15. So I got Adriana here, I got T behind the camera, and we're gonna finish off all this Port 15 and get it all done. Got the whole frame Port 15'd, everything along here, all our cross members and our cab mounts are all now painted and dialed. Big shout out to Adriana for helping me get finished this last little bit here. And then yeah, we got all the front here for the bumper mounts and everything, and the front cross member, and all on the inside of the frame by the steering box, which was an absolute bitch to get to, but it's all done now. So everything is dialed. Now we're just gonna let it dry, and we are gonna come back here tomorrow, and we're gonna put these cab mounts back on. Next step is like putting on our front shocks. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Woohoo! One shock. Done.
Nice.
Nice. Changed out the old shitty shocks to some nice new yellow ones. So front one on the driver's side is all dialed. And we got the passenger one. There's our old shock. New shock. Nice and happy. I got T Swift over here. He was messing around with some of the linkage, just taking some parts off. So, oh, he did do it. Nice. So now we could build our own system off this to our floor shift. That's what we want to do in the cab. So we're gonna focus on that a little bit, and then Tay just cut the e-brake cable, and I got a new one. So we're gonna actually try and adapt this e-brake cable to work with a foot pedestal e-brake. What's the right word?
Park brake pedal.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna modify that to fit in that cab, use the Dodge components to fit in the Ford. So Tay's just taking that apart right now. So
Yeah.
or he's attempting to.
He's rusty.
So yeah, this cab actually, or this frame turned out really dope. I really am happy with how it turned out. So just a little bit more sleek and sexier. I'm gonna start bolting up those rear cab mounts and also the front ones now. So let me go do that. I gotta say, this is quite nice that I'm not taking this back off.
Don't say that yet.
Shut up, shut up. Don't be that, don't be that guy.
I've seen
The running joke,
3 times fucking.
yeah, the running joke is when I was building, or still building my 52, every single time I did something, I did it like 2 or 3 times because it just never went the way we expected it to. Back mount, it's done. Now let's do the front mounts. Last mount's done. Technically the cab can now go. Tay made a very good point. Before we put the cab on, let's get the fuel tank in. Fuel tank time. It's hard trying to hold it with one hand. What? My head. Heck yeah, we're gonna have to cut those. Fuel tanks.
Fuel tank is
Pretty
kind of
much
in. Kind of in. In enough that the hard part's done.
So yeah, Dad recently bought a lathe, which was dope.
Way over that corner. You can't see it. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, lathe is over there. And Dad just machined up some little, like, I think these are 1/2 inch pucks or 3/4 inch pucks. And this will be exactly perfect to throw in here, and we could space this down because this was hitting our box. So we could space this down just a tiny bit. But good job, Dad. Using new tools. Look at him go. Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Smash that up a little bit higher too. Wicked.
Look at those nice little.
All right. Oh, there you go. Got the spacers in. I got the fuel tank in. We have a little bit of issues. We just gotta secure this a bit better. Put some rubber in there. But fuel tank's at least bolted up. Pour 15, all done. Cab mounts, all bolted up. Starting to become
something.
Starting to become
The
something.
assembly phase.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that one. That one was kind of a not very exciting one, but at least, you know, this is the stuff that people, you know, will want to see, and
Process is process.
Exactly. We're making progress, so I want to show everything that I can.
Process. I said progress. I said process. Progress.
Progress.
Progress is progress.
Yeah,
not process.
Process meat.
Progress.
So, yeah, I just want to show the progress along the way. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below on anything that you guys may, you know, any comments on what we're doing. If you're liking it, if you're disliking it, changing stuff, let us know. I'll see you guys on the next one.